Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my Discord bot tutorial series. In today's video, we're going to build Fortnite command, where we will retrieve Fortnite game information of an user or player and all their relevant stats. So let's dive into the demo. We will begin with bot's prefix, which is exclamation mark, followed by the command, which is fs, in this case, Fortnite stats in short form. And then we're going to type in a player username in this case. So I'm going to say Tfo or Tifo. And we're going to push enter. And we will get a nice little image with all the required data from the user of the game. So literally all the wins percentage and whatnot. So we will be retrieving all this individual informations respect to their relevance. So let's dive into now the prerequisites, what we have to install and set up the folder. You will now want to head over to my GitHub repository, where all the updated files will be available. So you do not have to probably code the entire tutorial, but I highly recommend you to follow the tutorial so that you understand all the bits and bobs that is used, and you will be able to resolve your issue on your own. I hope so. And you want to go and select the code. Either you want to download or you want to clone, whichever is your preferred method to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the link to clone the repository. Then I'm going to open my choice of IDE, but you go ahead and clone it using either terminal, any text editors, or any other IDE that you preferred to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and select get from VCS. All I'm going to do is paste the link right there and head over to the clone. And the clone has begun. I'm going to pause. Once it's finished, then I'll go ahead and unpause it. Now you are most likely to get prompted with this dialog box if you're using PyCharm like me. And if you do get one of these, then do please press OK, because this will make your life much easier. All it's doing is creating a virtual environment for you, and it also got the dependencies, which is the requirements.txt files right here. And I do mention this all of my tutorials so that you never get stuck. And this is why I really make effort to keep repeating them so that it's all fluently working for you. So please do go ahead and do that, although I will be showing you in a minute how to manually install requirements and create the virtual environment for your operating systems that you have. Although I'm using Linux, but I will guide you for all other operating system in this case. But if you get prompted like this from PyCharm, then make sure you press OK, and it will do everything automatically for you. You don't have to worry about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cancel this. And now we're going to create the virtual environment and set activated to that virtual environment, and then install the requirements. So to do that, I'm going to open the terminal from my IDE itself. And now those who are using Windows or Mac OS or Linux, this command should be fine. So I'm going to say Python 3 -m vend, and then tutorial, and then env. So that's the name of the virtual environment. So I'm going to go ahead and press enter and wait to proceed. and that has been successful. And now the next command we'll be using, I'll show you the Windows version first to activate the tutorial env, the virtual environment, and then I will actually proceed with the Linux version as I'm using right now as my major operating system at the moment. So let's go ahead and do the Windows version. So I'm going to type in tutorial env, and then gonna put backslash and then scripts and then backslash and then activate.bat, and that should activate the virtual environment for you for Windows. So now to do for mine, I'm going to use the Linux version, which is source tutorial env and then /bin/activate and press enter, and you do notice that there's something has been changed and tutorial env is present just before the terminal. Don't mind this one because I use Anaconda, so I have my base also activated, but this one is my priority right now. So that goes for the setting up the virtual environment, activating it. The next thing you want to do is go ahead to my README sections of the repository. If you scroll down a little bit, you will see there's instructions for the installing requirements.txt file, which has all the required package for this entire project. So let's go ahead and do that. So pip install and then -r and then requirements.txt, and go ahead and install. So, but do notice that if you have Python 2 and Python 3 installed, then you want to ensure that you're choosing the Python 3, which is pip3, just in case. So I'm going to go ahead and use the pip3 right here and going to push enter, and it will start installing all the packages. So I'll go ahead and pause. Once you have successfully installed all the requirements packages, which is requirements.txt file, then you want to head over to your application portal for Discord, which is discord.com/developer/applications. And if you haven't invited your bot to your server at this point, then please do go ahead and do that. Then you want to head over to the bot sections, and you want to scroll down, and please ensure that present intent and server member intent is turned on, which is toggled on, so that once you try to run my code, you are successful on that. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and copy your token, head over to the PyCharm or your desired IDE and text editors, and you want to find .env files. And you want to replace the text right here where it says token is equal to token that you just copied. Now you do notice that there are two others credentials present in here. If you haven't been following up all my tutorials, then you are not probably familiar with these two credentials, and if you think that you're not likely to use them, which are there relevant to j.dodl API, where we use them for one of our tutorials to do with building a compiler, then please go ahead and remove that. That way this will not be on your way. And next thing you want to do is paste your token right here. And finally, to finish the setup sections, just head over to the main.py, scroll down, find line number 26, and uncomment. Remove the hash from the front or press Ctrl and then followed by /. That should remove the comment from the line so that we can see all the errors getting sent to our Discord, just in case we need to debug further. Go ahead and save everything. And now we will move to our coding sections. Before we begin coding, we want to get ourselves familiar with the Fortnite API, where we actually going to fetch the user data. So you want to head over to the fortnite-api.com. The link will be down below in the descriptions again, so make sure to check that out. And then you want to go to the dashboard or the docs sections right here. Go ahead and click and get yourself familiar with the entire documents, but the one we are most likely to use is the BR stats version 2, where this will return all the information that we need for a player. Head down to the assets sections of the project folder. Please ensure that you have the Fortnite template itself, which we will be using with the pillow in order to insert all the information here. This is a nice little template that I have created, but feel free to create your own one and experiment with that further. So I'm going to go ahead and close these sections. Go to API sections, right click on API new, Python file, and I'm going to call this Fortnite API. So Fortnite API, and then I'm going to import. So import JSON, and then import requests. I'm going to go down further down. I'm just going to close this for now. Just going to define any functions. I'm going to call this Fortnite underscore API underscore request. And then a parentheses. And we're going to take a username of the player, or the person who is typing the command in this case, and then the request URL where we're going to send that request to, and then I'm going to take f-string literals here. I'm going to quickly head over to the documentations, going to right click here and then copy the link address, come back here and paste it right there. Now I'm literally going to modify right here. So I'm going to pass in a condition at the end, and I'm going to say where if after this request get me the specific player data. So basically when you pass in a condition after an URL. So let's say name is equal to, and I'm going to pass in username here. And that should do it. I'm going to go down, and I'm going to return a object that will be loaded and return the JSON object. And let's do that. So I'm going to say JSON dot loads, and we'd say request dot get, and parentheses. I'm gonna push enter. I'm gonna go down. We're gonna send it to this request URL right here, comma, and then we're gonna send some parameters with that. So I'm gonna say params equals to curly braces and open, and we're gonna pass in the display name. So display name right here. And then colon, and then username itself, and then load that content. So, and that should do it. So we can go ahead and test this by print, and there you go. JSON.loads, everything seems good to me. So what I'm going to do is call that function, which is the Fortnite API. It takes the username equals to, and we're gonna give a username here. So and let's hit save. And let's go ahead and run that Fortnite API file itself. So I'm just gonna run. And hopefully, yes. So we got the status 200. So if you look here, there are responses type are given, which is like 200, 404, or 3 and 404. So you can actually make them a base cases when you're requesting, which we will be doing later in the commands to ensure that we receive the correct information. And if there are any other requests that are not associated with the success, then we will also output the messages to our user end. And now what I'm going to do is return this functions or method to use in our command by getting rid of the print statement and the method callback from here. And that should be fine. Everything looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. I will close this down and close this file too. And now we want to head over to our command sections, right click here and create a new Python file. And we're going to call this Fortnite. That's it. And we will go ahead and add for now. Let's start by importing some of the files. So I'm going to say import Discord itself, and then from discord.ext, I'm going to import commands, and then from pillow, so the image library that we're going to use to manipulate the images. So from pil import image, and then image font, I guess, and then image drawer. That's perfect. And finally, we're gonna get the API method itself, where we're gonna send the request and fetch the request. So I'm gonna say from APIs dot Fortnite API import Fortnite requests, and that goes for that. Now let's create a class called Fortnite, which takes commands.cog, and we're gonna initiate a constructor, so init, and which takes bot itself, self.bot is equal to bot, and let's do the setup, which takes the bot again, and then bot.add cog, and then the class name itself, which is the Fortnite, and then which takes the bot. That's perfect. So let's go ahead and format real quick and go ahead and hit save. And let us now initiate our commands. So it's going to be add commands dot command, and let's do the function, define the function async def The name of the command, I'm going to keep it simple. Feel free to name anything you like. And it's going to take the context, cdx, and the args. Now, args and key arguments and arguments we normally use in Python when we want to receive large number set of inputs in this case and modify it. So that's the use case of that. So I'm going to say username is equal to, I'm going to turn that into a list. Then go down and I'm going to format the name, right? So I will tell you exactly why I'm going to format underscore name is equal to, and I'm going to join the text with something called %20. So in some names, you might have A and B separated rather than A, B of a player name together. So, and if you send that request, what happens is that it fails because it expects the A and B to be separated, right? And to send the string format further is %20. So I'm going to say dot join and then username. And now we're going to invoke our API method. So Fortnite response is equal to API, and then username is equal to the format player name, and that should do it. Now, if you can recall that I have said that I'm gonna set up the base case based on the responses. So if the request is success, then go ahead and do the stuff like retrieve the information and whatnot. And any other of the cases, then show their messages. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do now. So I'm gonna say if Fortnite response, and I'm gonna say status in there is equal to 200, then go ahead and do whatever I want, or and in this case I guess I really don't have to add else here. But if I want to output, like if you really want to output a message, then what you can do is use the else. But if you're really not looking for it, then you can leave it, to be honest. So else await, just for a nice little UI sort of stuff, and keeping things clean. cdx.send, and what I can say here is double quotation, come on, f string, and then I'm gonna take the emoji no entry, and then I'm gonna put asterisks to get the bold message out of that, and then put the braces in there, and gonna say Fortnite response and show what's the error to the user. So basically, if that for example, if that username did not exist, then it will show that message sort of stuff in whatever way you want to show it to your user. So in that case, we can use the else. If you're not worried about this, then you can really leave it if you're not bothered about showing all this information. But I would recommend you to do this because it'll look nice and tidy. Anyway, so now we're going to move down to our main section. So that goes our base case, but we will also cover some of the edge cases, like when some of the stats are not available and how can we check for them, and sort of cover that. But anyway, that is down on the line. So I'm going to comment stuff out here. So I'm going to get the image first. Just Just give me 1 second. I just want to make sure the indentation is correct. So I'm going to get the images first. And the next thing I want to do is get the fonts. So fonts, and then the position of the text. So these are all for the pillow library. So I'm just outlining them so they're easy. But do notice that I'm really not going to type everything here. I'll probably show you one example because they all are similar. So if you know how to get, for example, name of the player, you should be able to get like, for example, what's the win ratio and so whatnot. But I will probably show one of each, like for example, getting how many matches they played, then on the solo, how many matches they played, for duo, how many, and then literally for squads, how many they played. These are the information that we're retrieving. But I will not be showing all of them, just to save some time for this tutorial so that everyone able to engage with it. And then we're going to draw them. And then literally, I guess, finally we can send those information if there are nothing. So we're going to save image. And literally later on, we're going to do await.ctx and send the file where we are saving it. And that is for the as part the business logic. So let us go ahead and start implementing one after another. And here we can say it's Fortnite, Fortnite template image, I guess. Template image is equal to image.open, and I'm gonna give the file location now. For the file that I'm gonna upload into my repository, it will have the Windows version of doing the finding the file path, but here I'm going to use the Linux version as that's more appropriate at the moment. But do not worry, everything will be there, but it's just in case if you're using local machine as your different operating systems other than Windows, then please ensure that to change from / to /. Okay, Fortnite template. So that's the template in our assets folder. So just to check the Fortnite template.png. Then there you go. And that goes for the opening the image. And now we're going to do the fonts. There are two use cases of the fonts. First is for username, which is going to be pretty large. You have seen that in the demo section. So I'm going to do equals. So I'm going to differentiate both of them. So image font dot true type, not this one, true, I think it's small letter, yeah, true type. And I'm going to pass in the font. So font file also available in the root directory of this repository. Please ensure not to delete those files because you will be required to put them in. Just in case if you don't like the font, then go ahead and find another one from the internet that you feel comfortable with. Then you can replace that font way in here and make sure to replace the name as well as. So mine is called the bold font.tf. I'm going to pass the size to 50 for username itself, the player name itself. And then all the stats that are going to be there, the numbers, they're all going to have same sort of size fonts. So, and the style of the font. So font stats font is equal to image font dot true type. Oops, I guess we can quickly copy this bit. And we're going to set the size to 40 here. But if you feel you want to make some changes, feel free to do so. So this goes for our fonts. Now the positions. Now you have, if we look around here, there are we're gonna have to set positions for each one of them, right? So we have overall stats, solo stats, duo stats, and squad stats. The good thing is about these three, their x-axis or either the y-axis is y-axis are basically gonna have same kind of numbers, but probably the x-axis will change because of the you can see these are placed in different positions here. So that's why that will have a changes. But rest assured that the one of the axes will have the same value here, which is a good thing. But over here is slightly different because we have probably here and then underneath there. So just to let you know that. And so I'm going to identify positions. So first thing first, I'm going to set the username positions. And we'll see that in visually in a minute. So I'm going to set that to 135 to 163. And then we're going to have positions for overall stats. And then we're going to have, I guess, let's have a look. So overall stats and then solo stats. So I'm going to write that in. So solo stats. So it's a good way to differentiate each one of them and identify where, and then the duo. So stats and then I guess squad stats. Just to let you know, guys, if I mispronounce something here and sort of like if you in gaming terms I butchered something, then I do apologize because I actually don't play this game. I'm doing this tutorial up on request, so SQUAD. I'm doing this up on request, so yeah, please bear with me. I know you might get frustrated, those who are a little serious about the game. So yeah, and also next thing is what's gonna happen once we have the positions, they're also gonna get drawn. And in this case, like after the username it's getting drawn, I guess we're gonna draw for each one of those individual ones, right? So that's where we put in, and we're also going to cover right here the edge cases that I talked. I'm going to do one of them, guys. Like you can see by now that they're all reputation sort of stuff in a way, but obviously they have different values. Keep that in mind. But I will show you one example of them, and then rest I'll just put them here, pose it, so it will save some time. Okay, so now we're going to test, I guess, the username first. Let's initiate the draw itself. So draw on image. Oops, image is equal to image draw dot draw, I believe, yeah. And then the template itself, so which is this one, where we're going to draw. And now we're going to do the first one, which is the username. I'm going to identify that just to keep things clean for you guys. So I'm going to say draw an image dot text, and which is going to take the username position. Yeah, that's it. And the username itself. So so we're gonna access now the array object. So there's a set of data in the array, and then each objects are separated with the curly braces, and I will show you how to access them now. So Fortnite response, and the first thing first is the data. Then within the data, we're going to access the count and within the account, we're going to access the name. So if you print the response itself, you will see that this is the style of it. Okay, this is the pattern it's going. So then I'm going to say the color, which is white in this case, and then the font. So font is equal to, and then username font, right? Username font. That is correct. So I'm going to push enter here. So we're going to test that. So now what we're going to do is save this file. And let's go ahead and we'll worry about those numbers later. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to say Fortnite template image.convert. And we're going to convert to red, green, blue, RGB. And dot save. And gonna give the name of the file, which is gonna be Fortnite.jpg. I'm gonna save this to root folder. Feel free to save it elsewhere if you like. I'm gonna pass in the format which is JPEG, JPEG. And once it's done, we're gonna send the file. So we're gonna say await ctx.send, and I'm gonna say the file here. So file is equal to the discord.file, I believe. Yeah, discord.file, and then file name itself, so which is Fortnite.jpg. I'm just going to copy this and paste it here. Perfect. So let's go ahead and hit save right here, guys. And let's now run our main bot. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So our bot is online, and let's open the Discord, and let's go ahead and test our command. So I'm going to say exclamation mark fs Fortnite stats, and then the name of the player. And hopefully, yes, we got the result. So you can see we have the player name at the right positions. So I'm going to show you basically one of each. So here, basically, so you get the idea. It's pretty simple, guys. Nothing very complicated. Let us go ahead and set the size for stats. So overall wins position, which is equal to 43 by 300. And now what we're going to do is draw that, right? And if we come down to the overall stat sections right here, so if you remember, I'm going to check if that stat is there, right? If it's not, if it's null, it's nothing there, then I don't want to send any information. Otherwise, the command will run into an error, right? So if Fortnite response, and it's a data, and then the stats, and then the all, and the overall itself. So this is how you access to that object. And if is not none, which is equivalent of null, saying null, then go ahead and send the information. And if it's none, then don't do anything. So we don't have to actually cover else here. So it's if is more than enough. So it will check if it's none or not. And if it's not a null value or none and nothing in there in that object, then it won't send. And if there is something, right, then it will go ahead and send. So that's basically what is happening here. And we're gonna say draw an image dot text, and we're gonna take this time will be the overall wins position. So overall wins position, comma, and then basically get the Fortnite response. Oops. Fortnite response. When within there, we're gonna call the data again, and then the stats, and then all, and then overall. Perfect. Now, do notice that this is when you pass into the pillow, this needs to be string, but the return object is actually integer. So we're going to turn that into string just by wrapping that with the string method itself. And that should do it. And then comma. And then the color itself, so which is white in this case, and then comma, and then font. Font will be the stats font this time because we have set that there, and I'm going to push enter. So that should do that. And guys, now I'm obviously going to fill them out, but just to let you know that the only changes is happening here. So for, like I said, if we look at the template, we have overall, solo, duo, squad. And if you want to access the solo, all you do is change here to solo, right? And if you do here, it will access. And you also want to make sure that you're looking for that data in your statement, right? So when you're going to go to solo down here, for instance, so if I copy this right here, so I'm looking for solo. So you want to pass in solo right here. And I'm going to say pass here for now. And I'm going to change that back to overall. Cool. I hope you get this far. And let's go ahead and test first of all, obviously, before wrapping up this tutorial. Just gonna hit play right here. Bot is online. Let's go down here. I'm just gonna copy this command, paste it right here, and let's see if we get any stats. Perfect. We got the score object right over here. So let's have a look. I just wanted this specific score. Let's take a look where. Okay, so I missed out one more thing because the information we're looking for is wins, right? So I needed to pass that in. Do apologize for that. So I'm just going to say bracket there, and I'm going to access the wins. Right, and let's go ahead and push that enter to make it look nice and tidy here. So if you access the solos wins, then you'll be solo wins right here. That's all I mean. So let's go ahead and hit save. I'm gonna restart the bot, and the bot is online. I'm gonna try one more time here, copy and paste. And there you go. So this is our win numbers. You can see specifically right here. So guys, I hope you got the idea. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fill them out and I will walk you through quickly before ending the video. So let me quickly walk you through this. It's pretty easy, guys. Nothing really hard here. I already shown you examples of one. So you can see these are all these stats that we have. These are here and they're positions of each of these stats. So if this is from, I commented out also for you to understand. So this is for overall stats. This is for solo stats, and this is for duo stats, and then you have squad stats. So all of the positions are being set. So I actually went through all of them and actually said, but if you like, for example, in the future, if you have a template that size does change and the text template positions, for instance, if it changes any of that, then you also have to adjust the x-axis and the y-axis of that. Okay. And like if I also told you guys that I'm doing a check the edge cases for if there are any nulls values. So you can see I did for overall, and then I added each one of those stats. So wins, win rate, KD, kill per match, matches, kills, death, as part of the order, right? Same goes for the solo stats. So you can see they are like reputation, but obviously the only thing is representing is different data from a different perspective, right? From different sections of the game. And so there goes the solo stats, and we're checking again, we're adding all of them. We're also, in some cases, we're rounding the figures to 2 decimal places. Because I found that there are some data that come into 3 decimals, and it kind of like breaks the entire, the UI doesn't look really well. So what I did is round that figure to 2 decimal places, okay, and then wrap that around string. So make sure you have wrapped around string, so the pillar expects a string value, not an integer value here, right? So same goes here. Then again, squad, I'm checking right here, and then finally saving it. And to do final test, I'm gonna go ahead and hit save here and run. The bot is online, and if I go ahead and do that right here, and there you go, and you can see all those numbers are there. Now I'm also gonna show you like what happens if somebody does this, right? And literally, and you can see it responses the requested account does not exist, so that means the account is not there, right? Or even in other cases, so the exclamation mark fs and this sort of names. So you can see there's a space right here. So we also get to handle those. And if we check, then we should get the right message back. So this requested profile didn't play any match yet. So this account is fresh, new, and probably didn't even play. So you can see the user is getting the right responded, then bunch of like error sort of stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, guys. This was from request from one of the viewers, and I also enjoyed making this. And if you like this type of content, then do let me know on the comment sections, or you can head over to my Discord server and let us know, engage with our community. What do you like about it? And if you enjoyed like this tutorial, make sure to give a thumbs up, share this tutorial, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And until then, I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye.